happy to see all your faces. Well, half of them anyway. My name is Heather O'Day, and I'm the music director here at the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. And I want to welcome you to today's service here at the beautiful, beautiful oasis here at our Amado Territory Ranch in Amado, Arizona. Now I want to invite everyone to take a moment and focus and breathe. Breathe in that fresh air. Be ready to hear the words from Rev Donna and from our trustee and from our practitioner today.
Good morning, all you beautiful people. So nice to be up here, and it's always a privilege to serve my center as trustee. So on behalf of Rev Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees, I'm privileged to welcome you all to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living here in this beautiful oasis. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated, supported, and encouraged to be all that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action every day and in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of our programs, you will find our declaration of principles. Please join me now in reading them. Let's do it a little more slowly and let the words settle into your souls. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. So for all the people who set up chairs, thank you so much. We've got this ready. We have cold water. Bruce is standing at the ready there. Thanks so much. And I know Susan helps with the chairs. Everyone has helped with chairs. Thank you all so much. And isn't this beautiful today? It's getting a little cooler and a little cooler. This is a perfect place until we start freezing. So Ooh La La has been nominated for Best Retail Store by Arizona 19 Readers Pick. So you can vote online by going to gvnews.com/readerspick. And we thank you so much for your continued support of our wonderful little store. That helps support our center. Thank you so much for coming. I love you all. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks.
Surely the presence of love is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the brush of angel wings. I see glory each face. Surely the presence of love is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can feel the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning. Welcome to this sun-dappled cathedral. Isn't it wonderful? Is it a song?
That's a song right there.
That's a song title. You can tell I used to write advertising copy. Well, today I'm going to combine the prayer, the meditation, as a meditation on some words that are very important to the time right now. Although you may not be biblical scholars, most of you are familiar with these words that I'm going to read to you today, because many ceremonies, such as weddings and funerals, use these words. I pull these words out. It's Corinthians 13, chapters 1 through 13, before an election. So these words were written by Paul, the apostle, when he was totally frustrated with the division within the leadership of his church. And if you find yourself frustrated with all the divisiveness that goes on in your environment, may these words bless and comfort you. The love chapter will bring peace of mind to those of us who need to be reminded that we are all spiritual beings, both human and divine. And life without love is like an unsharpened pencil. It has no point. Your natural state is love, and you are permanently and eternally embraced by love wherever you are. You were born that way. Let's begin our meditation now by taking a deep breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Taking the breath deeper and deeper into the body cavity. And letting all other thoughts go right on by. And allow your breath to return to normal whenever it feels appropriate. If I speak in the tongues of men and of angels, but do not have love, I'm only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. And if I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I am nothing. If I give all I possess to the poor and give over my body to hardship that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy, and it does not boast. It is not proud. It is not rude, and it is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always perseveres. Love never fails, but where there are prophecies, they will cease. And where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child, and I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put away the ways of childhood, and I put them behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part, then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now there are these three that remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Love is the cream that rises to the top. It's the spark that ignites inclusivity. Dear ones, I ask you to carry the truth of these ancient writings with you as you live your abundant life. And allow yourself to be the innovator, the creator. It never hurts to ask Spirit for a sign along the way. And from a state of love and gratitude, be one with your destiny for your new life. Bless you. And so it is.
I know Spirit, I talk to God. I know Spirit, I talk to God. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. Faith, hope, and love are some good things He gave us. But the greatest of these is love. But the greatest of these is love. But the greatest of the greatest of these, oh, the greatest of these is love.
Well, good morning. And our theme this month is stories that touch the heart. And I think most of us have a favorite story. We have a favorite film that touches our heart. Sometimes we call these the classics. And we turn to them over and over for inspiration or for the feeling that there is good in the world. You know, The Wizard of Oz is, of course, one of those. And it made its film debut in 1939 and was first aired on television in 1956.
And I don't know about you as far as how many times you've seen it, but I think I stopped counting at 30. The original Star Wars is another classic. It opened in 1977. That's 33 years ago. And yet I bet we could all pick some part of that film that we remember, something that has touched our heart. And Casablanca, too, is another one of those classics that was made in 1942, 78 years ago. But all we have to do is here's looking at you, kid, and we still see Rick and Elsa. We know by heart the fairy tales that have been made famous by Disney. Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Bambi, Pinocchio, Peter Pan. But there's a reason that these stories and fairy tales and myths touch our heart. In her book, Belonging, Remembering Ourselves Home, Toko-Pa Turner writes, myths, fairy tales, and archetypal stories give us a sense of cohesion because we recognize the patterns, even unconsciously, as bone deeply familiar. Stories serve to remind us that whatever difficulties we might be experiencing have been encountered many times before. We are not alone. We are connected to an ancestral storehouse of experience, and embedded within those tales are the solutions and instructions for how to navigate difficulty with grace and wisdom. So when a story really touches our heart, chances are that what we experience is somewhat mystical in connection. There is a sense at some level that this story is our own. And while our house may not have fallen on a wicked witch, in Munchkin land, our journey has taken us to places that seem just as unfamiliar. And when up until I was 5, I lived on a farm with my parents and my baby sister. There were no neighbors, no friends, no little kids. I had 2 companions. I had a chicken. It was blind in one eye, so I could creep up on that side and catch it. And I would swing in my swing and sing to it. And the other companion was a little baby goat, and we played follow the leader. I would crawl up on top of the picnic table, and then I'd jump off. And he would crawl up the picnic table, and he would jump off. And we would play that all afternoon. So those were the companions I had. Well, in the summer, after my 5th birthday, we moved to suburbia. And our block was filled with kids that were my age, a bit older, a bit younger. And I would guess that there were probably about 30 of them on one block. And I felt every bit as out of my element as did Dorothy when she stepped out of her house into that colorful, confusing, and mysterious world of the Munchkins. And I can remember stepping out of mine and feeling just that confused. Toko-Pa Turner tells us that through these stories we find that we're not alone. And we're given instructions to navigate in unfamiliar territory with grace and wisdom. And she's echoing the words of Joseph Campbell, and if you've been around for a while, you've heard me use these words. It's my favorite statement of all time of Joseph Campbell. In Hero with 1,000 Faces, he writes, "Furthermore, we have not even to risk the adventure alone, for the heroes of all time have gone before us. The labyrinth is thoroughly known. We have only to follow the thread of the hero path, and where we had thought to find an abomination, we shall find a god. And where we had thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. And where we had thought to travel outward, we will come to the center of our own existence. And where we had thought to be alone, we will be with all the world. This is the hero's journey that you and I have taken and are taking right now. The abomination that was the beast is transformed through love in the story of Beauty and the Beast. Luke Skywalker shows us that where we thought to slay another, we shall slay ourselves. He must go into that cave that is strong with the dark side of the Force. He asks Yoda, "What's in there?" And Yoda answers, "Only what you take with you." It is our own ego that we are slaying when we meet the challenges of our life with courage. Our travels, and especially our spiritual journey, have brought us to the center of our own existence. And where we might have felt that our spiritual journey was just for us, we find that by our transformation, we have automatically become change agents for the world. Clarissa Pinkola Estes ends her book, Women Who Run with the Wolves, with the story called The Wolf's Eyelash, and that's our story for today. And I want you to think about how this story might be yours. "Don't go out in the woods. Don't go out," they said. "Why not?" "Why should I not go out in the woods tonight?" she asks. "A big wolf lives there who eats humans such as you. Don't go out in the woods." Naturally, she went out. She went out in the woods anyway, and of course, she met the wolf just as they had warned her. "See, we told you," they crowed. "This is my life, not a fairy tale, you dolts," she said. "I have to go out into the woods, and I have to meet the wolf, or else my life will never begin." But the wolf she encountered was in a trap. "Help me, oh help me, aye," cried the wolf. "Help me, and I shall reward you justly." "How do I know you won't harm me?" she asked. "How do I know you won't kill me?" "Wrong question," said the wolf. "You'll just have to take my word for it." And again the wolf began to cry and wail. "Oh, I. There's only one question worth asking, fair maiden. Where is the soul?" "All right, I will take a chance." And she sprang the trap, and the wolf drew out his paw, and she bound it with herbs and grasses. "Ah, thank you, kind maiden," sighed the wolf. And because she'd read too many of the wrong kinds of tales, she cried, "Go ahead and kill me now and get it over with." But no, this did not come to pass. Instead, the wolf put his paw upon her arm. "I'm a wolf from another time and place," said he, and plucking a lash from his eye, gave it to her and said, "Use this and be wise. From now on you will know who is good and not so good. Just look through my eyes and you will see clearly. For letting me live, I bid you live in a manner as never before. Remember, there's only one question worth asking, fair maiden. Were I the soul?" And so she went back to her village, happy to still have her life. And this time, as they said, "Just stay here and be my bride," or "Do as I tell you," or "Say as I want you to say and remain as unwritten upon as the day you came," she held up the wolf's eyelash and peered through and saw their motives as she had not seen them before. And the next time the butcher weighed the meat, she looked through her wolf's eyelash and saw that he weighed his thumb as well. And she looked at her suitor, who said, "I am so good for you," and saw that her suitor was so good for exactly nothing. And in this way and more, she was saved from not all, but from many misfortunes. But more so, in this new seeing, not only did she see the sly and cruel, she began to grow immense in heart. For she looked at each person and weighed them anew through this gift from the wolf she had rescued. And she saw those who were truly kind and went near to them. She found her mate and stayed all the days of her life. She discerned the brave and came close to them. She apprehended the faithful and joined with them. She saw bewilderment under anger and hastened to soothe it. She saw love in the eyes of the shy and reached out to them. She saw suffering in the stiff-lipped and courted their laughter. She saw need in the man with no words and spoke for him. She saw deep faith in the woman who said she had none and rekindled hers from her own. She saw all things with her lash of wolf, all things true and all things false, all things turning against life and all things turning toward life, all things seen only through the eyes of that which weigh the heart with heart and not with the mind alone. This is how she learned that it is true what they say, that the wolf is wisest of all. And if you listen closely, the wolf in his howling is always asking the most important question. Not where is the most food, not where is the next fight, not where is the next dance, but the most important question in order to see into and behind, to weigh the value of all that lives, where I can't yell this, I should do this. Were I the soul, were I the soul, where is the soul? Where is the soul? Go out in the woods, go out. If you don't go out in the woods, nothing will ever happen and your life will never begin. Yeah, I wanted to share that story because we've all traveled it already. You know, we've gone out in the woods over and over again. You know, our first day in kindergarten, our going off to college, our moving from home for a new adventure, a new relationship, coming here, how we find the center. These are all part of our soul's travel, our soul's journey. Because, and we don't think, but one of the things that is true is that we don't think of our lives as a hero's journey. We think it has to be somebody huge and hugely important that makes a big splash. But we are each doing that in our own way, shape, and form. Because if we look deeper, our journey has been more than mere movement up a ladder. Because with each physical encounter, there is a spiritual component that is asking, where is the soul? Well, some people never hear that question. Some people never follow that yellow brick road that leads them to their spiritual self. But we have. We have sought the deeper truth about ourselves and about the world. The science of mind teaching is not easy. I guarantee you, Melinda's class is not going to be easy. Because our studies require work. It requires persistent change in our thinking. It requires standing guard at the portal of our mind, my practitioner said over and over. It requires courage to step out beyond what we see in order to understand what we cannot see. And because you and I have been willing to look deeper into each situation to its greater truth, we have a wisdom that the world needs, especially now. And so our job right now is to impart that wisdom in every way that we can. You know, Reverend Peggy Bailey is a fabulous example because she had been thinking for a long time about where she could be of value. And she's made it her project to truly know and love her millennial grandchildren. And so they are getting that wonderful gift of that women's wisdom that she has. It's so incredibly deep. And she benefits from their technical knowledge, so her computer works. Yes. So it's a beautiful blend, but she is giving to the world in her unique and precious way. So the question to us is, what gifts are we bringing to the world? Because we already have brought them, whether we recognize it or not, and made the chance to just sit and think about, what are they? What have I given to the world? Where are my gifts? And is there something more that I want to do? Is there another place that I can use my gift? The wolf's eyelash, the gift that the young girl brought back to her tribe, to her community, was the ability to see beyond appearances into the heart and into the soul of each experience and of each person. That gift is ours as well. Our teaching has given us the ability to see deeply into situations so that our reactions come from a place of love. And even if they don't at first, we turn them around pretty quickly. Our teaching tells us to trust our inner intuition, which may fly in the face of opinion. So we need merely to stop and ask, where is the soul? Where is the heart? Listen to that answer and follow. The story tells us she saw all things with her lash of wolf, all things true and all things false, all things turning against life and all things turning toward life, all things seen only through the eyes of that which weigh the heart with heart and not with the mind alone. You know, the insights that we have gained from our spiritual quest are quite similar. So we ask the question, where is the soul? Where is the heart? And we try to follow that deeper understanding. So that is the gift that has been given to us. And it is a gift that each one of us, in our own unique and precious way, give back to the world. And we become part of a story that touches the heart. Thank you. Namaste.
Looking through the eyelash of the wolf like a window into their hearts. Use the fear within thyself and transform it into love. Ooh, little child, don't you wanna have a bigger world? Ooh, little child, it's a great big place. Every person has a lesson if you only stop and look now. Through the eyelash of the wolf, 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 through the eyelash of the wolf. Take the strength of the forest trees and always keep it in your heart. You got a lot more strength than you know. Keep it in, but you gotta let her out. Ooh, little child, got the strength of the wild in you. Ooh, little child, it's a great big heart, and there's room for everyone if you only let them in now. Through the eyelash of the wolf, 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 through the eyelash of the wolf. Where are these souls for maiden? Where are these souls? Where are these souls?
Namaste.
Isn't that cool?
All you have to do is give her something and she's got a song.
I know, I love it. I love it. I haven't seen that happen since Robert Schuller's church. And he had a pianist, a musician, that would make up songs on the spot, and it was just amazing to watch him do that. So we have our own. Thank you. What we're going to do today is a little bit different. So if you've got your program, we're going to read our offering affirmation, just because it's kind of reminder that we are not taking an offering for safety reasons, but there is a place out there, and just so that you won't forget, will you join me in our offering affirmation? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is. Thank you so much. And now let's take a moment to close this service out in prayer. And as we do, I would ask that don't close your eyes. Open them and kind of let your eyes scan not only the people that are here, but this beautiful place that we are meeting. I was watching a little lizard on the tree out here before I came up. It's just, there are some places where life goes on without knowing what goes on out there, and it's kind of nice that this little spot is one of them. So in this moment, I just take this time to be grateful for all the blessings that are in our lives, to know that we can speak our word, and that those words influence the manifestations of our lives. So as we love and bless each other, as we love and bless this day, we do give thanks. And we know that wherever there is someone who is ill or hurting or a problem, that right where that challenge is the power of God. We pray for solution to this virus. We pray for peace in our country and across the planet. We pray for goodwill for all, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you. And have a beautiful day. Thank you so much.
The word has been spoken, the songs have been sung, our hearts have been opened, together as one. Center of creation, we are divine congregation, we are no separation, we are here we stand, together as one, hand in hand, we shine like the one in every stand, together as one family.